Hi class, I'm Denise Harrington and I created this high production video to go over the guidelines of being an effective technical writer for our class, our week 5 assignment. Whether you're producing a quick reference guide or quick start guide on how to use an iPhone or trying to convince your supervisor to buy and upgrade to that new authoring tool, you're going to use the same steps and strategies to produce a quality doc. I think that we all agree one of the most important things we need to do as technical writers is place our focus on audience. Whenever we get confused or wonder what we should do next, we always go back to audience. What do they need? So they dictate what we write, how we write it. So if you're writing a marketing brochure, I think I mentioned this in one of the discussion forums, you need to figure out who you're tailoring that content to. Are you writing to the end user to describe product capabilities and letting that user know that these are all the things that you will get in this particular product and this is how it's going to save you time and help you with your day, whereas maybe a decision maker, probably their primary focus is on cost-saving measures. Other things that you can do to address your audience is to conduct research. Who are they? What do they want? What do they need? And how do we get that information? So we can conduct our research. We can produce surveys and talk directly to our audience. And if you don't have that information available, or that's not part of the process, then look at what you have available to you. Maybe at your organization, if it's new product, there is market research out there. Check with your business development folks. Maybe there's already customers out there that you could talk to that that even though the product's not released yet, they were probably helping with some of the ideas that brought that new product into fruition. So when we're writing content, we need to, when you get all this information, you have some idea of what they're looking for, and then you can tailor the content. So again, if I'm writing to a supervisor, I need to write a compelling case. Here, we need this authoring tool. If we get this, it's going to save our team a lot of time, and we'll be able to take on more projects. So you're going to want that. For teammates, maybe teammates aren't really on board yet and they hate change. So as part of in the report, you want to include compare and contrast of this is how we do it now, this is what the new product offer, this is what it's going to gain you, and you're really going to like this change. Does your audience know a lot about the subject? Or is this an entirely new product or product or technology? So again, if this is a new cutting edge, no one else knows about it in the market, we need to provide a lot more background. Whereas if it's something somewhat familiar, maybe an upgrade to a software release, which I talk a lot in my life, or new hardware or something, a new phone, then that's somewhat familiar, we may not need to go into so much detail because some of that information's already understood. So other things we can do, ensure you are addressing your audience needs, not yours. I don't think tech writers are trying to be selfish, but sometimes we like to kind of sneak in maybe things that we're interested in. So if I'm writing that iPhone guide and my audience requested information on Siri, but I focused on more of the video recording aspects of it, I might not be really tailoring it entirely to my audience or users. So we just need to be mindful of that. Distribution methods. Sure, we have all this information. How are we going to package it up? This was covered in the text quite a lot, so are we going to be reading this primarily online? Are we going to be leveraging all the social media options out there, YouTube, Twitter, blogs, maybe it's just your company website. It could be external, internal, or tweeting. We have to think about all the things that are available to us, so again, we can reach audience. Our audience. We want to reach all of them. Interesting fact out of our textbook that I did not know: 2.4 billion YouTube pages are viewed each month. Wow! So I'm going to create more videos. So other things, will the content be translated to different languages? That's we do this a little bit at my work, not a lot. We have resellers that are handling a lot of that, but we do need to keep that in mind. So we can't assume that if our products and technologies are only going to be distributed in the United States that we don't have to consider a language translation. In fact, in our textbook, another interesting bit of info is there's 100 in the U.S. alone. There's 170 different languages and dialects. So that took me by surprise. So that's something we need to think about. So when translating, consider page, and I'm being very specific here, but this came up in particular at my organization because we have a reseller in Germany, and they have very long words and lots of nouns that are just smushed together, so that takes up a lot of real estate on a page, whether it's a Word document or a web page or it's going to be a printed guide, that all needs to be factored in. Arabic, another thing, just a little side note here, we did have an inquiry about translating to Arabic, and I think we all know that the reading is right to left versus what we do, which is left to right. So again, maybe you want to adjust where the images are and how that's all laid out. And finally, and it's not least, but we want to keep this video under 20 minutes. So writing process and testing. We really focus on our audience, but obviously we are writers. So what is our process? So we need to brainstorm and think of techniques to kind of get us unstuck. We've collected all this information. Sometimes it's intimidating to put it to a page. How do we go about getting that down on paper? I like brainstorming. Our text also mentions things like flow charting and storyboard. Those are all useful. In early on, you don't want to lock in and try to make sure that you're writing very clear and fixing everything along the way. You got to get all of that, get it all down on paper, then go back and clean it up. Excuse me. So there are other things that I didn't mention was outlining. Of course, that is one of my favorites. I'm sure most folks still use that. When you're writing your content, so you get it down on paper, that you want to be able to give it a rest period. I know when we're in a deadline-driven society, the thought of being able to give anything a rest period just doesn't seem realistic at all. It actually works really well. So what I do is I put it aside at night, maybe in the morning, I'll review it again, and then you see a lot of things that you wouldn't normally catch if you just continue working a document over and over again. So that's just a terrific tool. Maybe you're not a morning person, you're a night person, but set aside for a little while so you can clean it up. Have others review your documents. We're not perfect, and having different people give you feedback is just the best way to produce a quality document. So, if you can have your users or usability lab or go on site to a customer, that's the best way to go. But you grab a teammate, a colleague, anyone that will look at your work and give you feedback. It's all valuable. And finally, but not this is not not the least important, but actually I emphasize this a lot, is don't forget about page layout and design. The best content could be lost if you have a number of different fonts, they're all different colors, there's images everywhere. You're going to lose your audience just because they're getting blinded by a lot of visual distractions. So make sure that while you're writing your content, you also have a clean layout. Maybe you're going to use a template so you can keep using it and testing it, and again testing it against your audience to see that they are receptive and want to use that doc. So that's it. I'm sure I've missed quite a few things and I've gone over time, but I appreciate the opportunity to discuss a little bit about technical writing, and thanks for your time and your patience with this video. Not exactly what I had in mind, but I hope you got some interesting information out of it. Thanks much.